And every Christian knows he's changed our faith and our values and our actions. And by doing so, he's changing culture. He's changing the world, right? So it doesn't resonate with our human experience. And I'll say Pentecost, the challenge of Pentecost. Oh, no, I got speed up. I'll skip that. If these things are true, but if these things are true, what I mean by these things are that there's hope in the gospel of Jesus Christ to, one, change our experience of life even under oppression, and two, to actually break the yokes of oppression. If these things are true, then why do we see culture moving in the wrong direction? I believe that is the right type of question to be asking and exploring. And I think it's a conversational question, not a question with a simple answer. Does that make sense? I think the transformation begins by asking the right questions. And when we start asking the right questions, we start to get revelation, start to get answers. I believe the question needs to be asked in the context of hope and expectation of changing the direction of history and cultivating the culture of heaven. I thought that was an important point to mention, because I remember when I was first doing my undergraduate in a course on Christianity, they basically gave the bad news of this is the trajectory that it's going, and and this is what we have to expect. And there was absolutely no hope that anything could be turned around or changed. So we need to ask these questions grounded in a hope and a faith, and hopefully we've laid that foundation that the gospel can turn it around. It can turn it around without changing the circumstances, or it can change the whole trajectory of history. And even if the history goes down that road, that seed can be sown that can resurrect it again. But we need to be asking those questions grounded in hope. I would like to bring James Jordan into the conversation with a couple of thoughts on Samson from his commentary on Judges. I'm just going to read my notes and not go off it to get done, if you don't mind. Okay? He goes, as a Nazirite, Samson pictures to Israel the tremendous strength that was available to them if they would faithfully live to God. If they would separate from uncleanness, they could all be Samsons, and the Philistine would be wiped out overnight. If they compromised their priestly status, however, they would wind up as Samson did. He does a great job. It's a great commentary, James Jordan's commentary on Judges. And he says that Samson, he slayed 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. And he had many exploits. 20 years he judged before he fell into apostasy. And he's saying, and he does a good job showing that his message was a message that we would all be mighty like him if we had our devotion and dedication. And later in the commentary he wrote, has Israel adopted the Philistine point of view? Does Israel think that it is because Dagon is stronger than they are, that they are in misery? They believe that the God of the Philistines is stronger than the God of the Israelites. That's why they're in misery. Do modern American Christians think that it is because humanism is strong that we are oppressed? Not so. If the church is oppressed in America today, it is because the church has been faithless. It is not the Dagons, the Philistine, the humanists, and the statists with whom we have to deal. It is with the Lord with whom we must wrestle. When our ways please him, the tyrant will be destroyed. Our problems are not political, and neither is the solution to them. Does that challenge anyone?